So right now, as I talked about several days ago, or really the beginning of this vlog, we talk about changing our perspective from being in an efficient quadrant of supply chains where demand uncertainty is low and supplier uncertainty is low. And with so much change, we're now in the need for agile supply chains because demand uncertainty is so high, supply uncertainty is so high. And so a few days ago, I talked about all the emerging capability where companies that haven't done certain things before now are doing certain things. Well, let's take that a step further for a word to codify all that, which could be repurposing. And so repurposing is taking a capability, whether it's labor, whether it's capacity, whether it's a combination of, whether it's a mission or a market, and thinking about what from that we can harvest and redirect towards another market. And so some quick examples that have been in the news the last several days, and I need to thank my wife because she is always reading the news and passes these to me. But these are just a couple of examples of Dyson, the vacuum cleaner company, building a ventilator in under 10 days. So building, engineering, and manufacturing that. Another example are restaurants being overstocked on the amount of food they have and not being able to sell it because they don't have customers coming in. And a third example is the idea of repurposing hotels to use as temporary quarantine centers and even hospitals. And maybe with some synchronization or at least integration, we could get those restaurant companies to take their food over to the hospitals in order to feed patients and feed employees. These are the hotel repurposed as hospitals. So repurposing, I think, is, again, it kind of reflects on the agility of an organization as well as an environment. I think the ability to repurpose and be flexible, again, that comes at cost, and that is, that the cost being there's some money lost, but it doesn't just come naturally. So the idea of being flexible is often in a company's culture, and so it just doesn't happen. So these things are, particularly Dyson's manufacturing of these ventilators, are all very interesting, but even more importantly, they're inspiring. I think the key trick, along with this preserving and cultivating the idea of repurposing of what could be, is going back and thinking about that requirements versus capabilities. How do we connect the two? How do we achieve unity of effort? How do we collaborate, especially virtually? And I do think that the key to success is doing so across cyberspace, across the internet, in a very collaborative fashion. I've seen that in other disasters and humanitarian efforts. Again, having all the information in one place is really not the way to go. So the key word for today in this video is the idea of repurposing in order to be in that agile quadrant and meet those emerging needs in the face of demand uncertainty and supplier uncertainty. Thank you.